I want to go across live for a ground report from our crime correspondent in Mumbai, Saurav Vakhtania. He's tracking the CBI's questioning of Riya Chakravarti and Shauvik Chakravarti. What can you tell us? What are you hearing from inside the DRDO guest house in Mumbai? What are investigators telling you about the questions that they've asked of Riya and the answers that she's been giving them?
Well, most of the questions she has answered on the India Today exclusive interview which took place yesterday. Now, the most important question, Rahul, which Riya needs to answer, Riya has been questioned by CBI, is whether she was giving medicines to Sushant Singh Rajput. Now, if she was giving these medicines to Sushant Singh Rajput, who was prescribing them? And the moment when she left the house of Sushant Singh Rajput, did she inform the family members of Sushant Singh Rajput? So these are the very important questions. The other sets of questions are, it has been divided into three sets of questions. This was about the depression. Second thing, about the decisions which Sushant Singh Rajput was making. The questions which being asked are, was she making the financial decisions for Sushant Singh Rajput? Second is, was she making career-wise decisions for Sushant Singh Rajput? Then the third set of questions are the questions after the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. What was the reason? Why did she contacted the Bandra DCP? The other sets of questions was, did she get in touch with Siddharth Pethani, one of the close friend of Sushant Singh Rajput, and Samuel Mirinda after his death? So there are a lot of questions, Rahul, but these are the prime important question. What was the reason for the breakup? Why did you move out? How was their relationship with the family members of Sushant Singh Rajput? The moment she has been...
Thanks very much, Saurav Vakhtania, for that update. That's Saurav giving us the ground report on the questioning of Riya Chakravarti. If that questioning ends, we'll have more for you in just a short while from now. Now, Dr. Kersi Chavda is one of Mumbai's top clinical psychologists. He is the doctor who was named by Riya Chakravarti in that Big India Today interview that viraled nationally. And now what we've been able to do on the Newstrack is access Dr. Chavda's assessment of the health condition of Sushant Singh Rajput, which was handed over to the Mumbai Police and then is part of the tranche of documents that have been given to the Central Bureau of Investigation. And this has been validated by 4 other clinical psychologists who Sushant had consulted with at different times. Now, this clinical assessment is very crucial because what it says is in the month of June, Sushant Singh Rajput had gone off his depression medication, and that the doctor's assessment was that he was clinically depressed and that he could take an extreme step if he didn't start taking the medicine again. The doctors, in fact, pushing very hard for Sushant to take the medicines. And when Dr. Chavda asked him about why he wasn't taking the medicine, Sushant apparently just laughed it off. This is an India Today exclusive based on reports before the CBI, which delve into what doctors thought was the health condition of Sushant Singh Rajput right ahead of his mysterious death. Here it is.
Sushant Singh Rajput was suffering from hyperanxiety, depression and existential crisis, and might have stopped taking medicines in the days leading to his death. His psychiatrist had also warned the actor could take the extreme path if he stayed off medicines. India Today has accessed the statement given to Mumbai Police by Dr. Kersi Chavda, the psychiatrist who was treating Sushant. Dr. Chavda's statement details Sushant's mental health issues since he sought treatment from him. The doctor says that 2 days before Sushant was admitted to Hinduja Hospital on November 27th, the actor's manager Shruti Modi had called him to the Waterstone Hotel where Sushant was staying. Sushant's therapist claims he was dejected after his mother's demise and adds that the actor continued smoking despite being advised against it. Dr. Chavda says that in December 2019, Sushant said that he did not feel like working anymore. In February, however, he claims that Sushant's condition improved, but he stopped taking medicines. In March 2020, Dr. Chavda received a call again and was told Sushant was feeling depressed again and wanted to leave Mumbai. On June 8th, the day Riya left Sushant's house, Dr. Chavda received a call from Riya who said Sushant was depressed and wasn't taking medicines. Dr. Chavda says he warned that the actor could resort to the extreme path if he didn't take medicines and his condition deteriorated. Riya Chakravarti, in her exclusive interview to India Today, had revealed how she and Sushant parted ways that very day.
Sushant was behaving very slightly aloof with me. और बार बार मुझे कह रहे थे कि तुम घर जाओ और ये घर जाओ कहीं 2nd 3rd जून से 1st जून से ही शुरू हो गया था कि मुझे तो कूल शिफ्ट करना ही है तुम घर जाओ.
The statement given by Sushant's therapist to Mumbai Police counters his family's claims that Sushant was not depressed.
या तो उनको सेटअप किया गया था कि सुशांत को किसी तरह से डिस्ट्रॉय करो या उन्होंने देखा कि अब ये मेरे कोई काम का नहीं रहा क्योंकि मानसिक स्थिति को कंट्रोल करने के लिए जो अगर आप ड्रग किसी को देंगे तो मानसिक स्थिति फिर उसकी इतनी खराब हो जाती है कि फिर आपके काम का नहीं रह जाता है.
When Dr. Chavda asked Sushant on why he'd stopped the medication, he just smiled and did not respond. Dr. Chavda had also warned that stopping the medication could have extreme effects. With camera person Kiran Sapkal and Sahil Joshi, this is Divyesh Singh in Mumbai for India Today.
Dr. Samir Parekh is a leading expert on mental illnesses. He joins us live on this broadcast. We have our Mumbai Bureau Chief Sahil Joshi joining us as well. He and his team scooped that report of the clinical psychologist that brings out Sahil, and I want you to start by putting this in context for us, because what this report suggests is that he'd gone off his medicines. What medicines does the doctor say in this report Sushant was on, and that he was clinically depressed, and that doctors felt that he could take an extreme step unless he went back on his medicines immediately. Tell us all that you know from this report.
You know, Rahul, most importantly, Dr. Kersi Chavda in his medical report clearly mentions that when he met Sushant for the first time at Waterstone Club in 2019, when he got a call from Sushant's manager, he realized, when after meeting him, he realized that he has been suffering this from many years, and he has been going through the treatment also from many years. In fact, Dr. Harish Shetty, whose name Riya was taking, it's confirmed that Harish Shetty has been treating Sushant since 2013 for the same issues, anxiety and existential crisis. And, you know, these are the symptoms which Sushant has been facing quite a long. And if you look at the whole chart, you can see that every month there used to be these panic attacks. Every month there used to be swinging from one pole to other pole, being happy to completely depressed, saying that Mumbai is very claustrophobic. He wants to go somewhere else for his own mental peace. He doesn't want to stay in Mumbai. Telling the doctor that how he suffered because of his mother's death and how he feels a void in his life after his mother's death. All these indicates that Sushant was suffering from mental illness, and not from 2019 but from 2013. He must be suffering from that even before that, but we do not have specific confirmation about that. And there are 5 doctors whose statement has been taken, and all the doctors who have treated Sushant all have confirmed that he was suffering from this illness, and he was under medication. In fact, in a few of the chats, Kersi Chavda, who has given this medical report, has also asked him to stop smoking, because he remembers that Sushant asked him that while taking medicines, can he smoke, on which the doctor has told him completely no. So, you know, this indicates the mental status of Sushant Singh Rajput. We do not want to arrive at any kind of conclusion. This report
says hyper-anxiety, depression, existential crisis that could lead to suicide if the patient is off medicines. Now, this is part of the medical report. Now, Sean of medical jargon, just try and explain in layman terms what you've understood so far from this clinical assessment of the mental condition of Sushant Singh Rajput.
So, Rahul, let's be fair here. I think the first thing is that not knowing more details to actually comment specifically is virtually impossible. But I'll break it down for you in a very generic way, because it applies to almost everybody, and so many people listening to you right now need to understand the importance of what I'm saying, because we also need to bring a sensibility to conversations around mental health, and bring an insight and awareness, because this is important for the society. One, let's all of us understand we are talking about a medical illness. We need to stop treating mental illnesses as though they are anything else, and stop thinking that they can be faked. Stop thinking that they are individual limitations, they're a matter of choice. All of that is rubbish. They're medical illnesses. Second aspect, let's come to both depression and anxiety. WHO says the world's single largest illness in the world, Rahul, is depression. 300 million people globally suffer from depression. 240 million plus people suffer from anxiety. We are more likely to have depression or anxiety as compared to some of the other illnesses. Now, like any illness, let's take an example of diabetes, thyroid, blood pressure, you name any medical illness. If I am on a treatment and if I do not comply with the doctor, if I do not take my meds as prescribed, naturally the illness will become worse in me. It's no different whether it's a physical illness of the body or a medical illness of the mind. So yes, if I am depressed, if I have an anxiety disorder, and if I am on medications, if I don't take them, naturally it won't work. The other component, look at a triangle of what causes mental illness: biopsychosocial, biomedical causes, neurotransmitters. Basically, if you have a psychiatric disorder, you have low chemicals. Second, psychological, which is your personality, your experiences, the way you think. And third, your support system and the triggers around it, which is the environment. What is the treatment? Biological, you give medications to take care of the chemicals. Psychological, you give cognitive behavioral therapy, other forms of therapy. Social, you work with the family, work with the friends, work with the support system to help the individual come out of it. Now, that's how you understand a psychiatric illness, and that's how you look at treatment. And naturally, if during this course somebody's compliance goes up and down, which is not uncommon in psychiatric disorders, because sometimes they tend to be either episodic or chronic, that's where you utilize your rapport as a doctor or a therapist to help the patient get more compliant. You use the family support systems, the friend support systems, and improve compliance.
Stay with me. I also want to delve into the financial accounts of Sushant Singh Rajput, because remember, there's been so much that's been alleged by the family that there was 17 crores in the family in the Sushant Singh Rajput bank accounts, that 15 crores have been taken away, etc. So what India Today did was that we engaged a financial forensic auditor. Just in the same way as we worked with a criminal forensics expert, we worked about a week long with Namrata Kanodia. She's a well-known chartered accountant, does a lot of financial crimes forensics, has worked with us in previous episodes like the Lalit Modi case, like the Nirav Modi case as well, including the Vijay Mallya Kingfisher case. So what we did is we gave her all the bank account details of Sushant Singh Rajput, the income tax returns, which are in the public domain. And now there are some accounts which are not in the public domain. So I want to build that caveat right at the top. This is an assessment of all the expenditure, where the money was coming from, where the money was going to, and whether Riya Chakravarti was indeed siphoning off a lot of that money. So this is not based on WhatsApp, university, or rumor, or innuendo. This is just clinical facts. How much money is in the accounts? What happened to that money? Riya spoke of Sushant living life king size. Was that really the case? So we went account by account, looking at the details of Sushant's bank accounts. This is a big India Today exclusive.
He lived like a star. He lived like a king. He loved it. वो लड़कों को भी ले गया ट्रिप पे. क्या उन्होंने भी उसे फोर्स किया है ऐसा कराने के लिए? और जी नहीं, I was not living off Sushant Singh Rajput's money. We were living like a couple.
She rejected accusations of gold digging.
पेरिस में मेरा एक शूट था एक कंपनी के साथ, Shein, जो कि एक क्लोथिंग वेयर है, उनका एक फैशन शो था. उसके भी शायद सब प्रूफ है मेरे पास. उस फैशन शो में मुझे अटेंड करने के लिए पेरिस बुलाया जा रहा था, और मेरी टू एंड फ्रो बिजनेस क्लास टिकट्स और वहां की होटल स्टे बुक थी बाय द कंपनी नेचुरली. लेकिन सुशांत thought it's a great idea to make a Euro trip out of this. So he cancelled those tickets, which I have those tickets just in case now I have to prove everything. He cancelled those tickets and booked first class tickets, and the rest of the trip he paid for the hotels. He wanted to. And I absolutely didn't have a problem with that.
She has acknowledged having accompanied her boyfriend on foreign trips, all expenses paid. India Today accessed at least one statement of one of Sushant Singh Rajput's bank accounts in Mumbai and commissioned it for analysis. Leading forensic financial expert Namrata Kanodia found the star was generous with his spendings overall. A life of indulgence. This statement from a Mumbai bank covers Rajput's transactions from January to November last year, excluding the month of September. The flamboyant actor spent more than 4.5 crores spread over 10 months in 2019. More than 85 lakh on travelling and personal luxuries. He appears to have been a connoisseur of luxury drinks and clubbing.
We saw his 10 months account in one of the bank, and there it was total withdrawal or expenditure, you can say, is around 4.6 crores. And from that 4.6 crores, it is mainly 42 lakhs approx was on traveling. Then comes Reha and her brother. It was around 9.5 lakhs, and which is mainly on like 1.7 lakhs on flight and 4.7 lakhs on Shaunik's hotel stay, and some 3.4 lakhs on makeup and other shopping, etc.
A star's lavish lifestyle. But his spending also offers a peek at Rajput's spiritual side as well. He spent more than 16 lakh rupees between February and April on charity, and around 3 lakh rupees on puja and spiritual products like Rudraksha. But what has surprised the forensic expert was the pattern of payments shown for dried fruits. Purchases under this header incurred close to 5.25 lakh rupees from January 2019 to May 2019.
If you see this summary we have made, it is mainly the kind of amount which is coming and frequency, the way it is coming. It is like, if you see 20th January 19, it is 32,000. Then 21st January 19, again 32,000. 25th January 19, again 32,000. So even if you assume he was buying some gift packets or something, but then also again in February, it will be 36,400, 40,500 again in February. So kind of, round off figure, if you go and buy something in the market, and you buy an absolute amount 32, 40, 46, so that somehow raises some doubt about the kind of transaction that was.
The forensic analysis of the account also shows cash withdrawals amounting to nearly 25 lakh rupees.
Sushant Singh Rajput's bank accounts, at least 4 of them are being probed by the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate, including the one statement which has been independently audited by our independent forensic expert. It's now over to the investigators for their conclusions. With Devesh Singh in Mumbai, this is Aishwarya Paliwal in New Delhi reporting for India Today.
For a perspective from Mumbai and Bollywood and how the world of showbiz is looking at the India Today interview with Riya Chakravarti and the manner in which this investigation is panning out, I'm joined by Anu Ranjan, in many senses the ultimate insider. With us also at this time is Navneet Vasan, former senior official with the Central Bureau of Investigation on what the CBI team in Mumbai is doing so far. Vishnu Jain is a lawyer who's a very strong advocate for Sushant Singh Rajput's case, and Dr. Sameer Parekh is still with us. Anu Ranjan, I want to come to you first. There's been stunning silence from the big names of Bollywood. Over the past about 75 days, they've been attacked viciously. All manner of charges said, flung their way, and there has been no pushback. So you've been speaking to many people inside Bollywood. Can you give us a sense of the thinking within the film industry on the charges of nepotism that have been flung their way, on the manner in which this entire case is panning out and so many reputations being tarnished and trashed?
Rahul, first and foremost, honestly, I'd really like to say thank you for the interview yesterday, because the first time we got an idea of the other side. So far, all we've been hearing is on news channels, just because you're shouting and screaming doesn't mean you're right. And most people have formed their judgment based on the fact that from posts on various social media platforms. Number two, the fact that the bottom nepotism. Nepotism, once again, started off very honestly with Kangana. Now, Kangana can say what she wants on nepotism, but if you look at it in that beautiful office she owns, her sister and her brother work for her as managers and celebrity, whatever. Now, isn't that nepotism? I mean, she could have hired you or me. So let's not get into the nepotism. It means nothing. It means nothing at all. And the people who've been accused in Bollywood, like you're saying, whether it was Ekta, whether it was Karan Johar, whether it was Aditya Chopra, you got to look at it. Ekta gave him his first break to make him a star. Aditya Chopra gave him his first film. Karan gave him his last film. So, you know, it's very easy because all of a sudden these people are being attacked by so many people all over the world, and none of them even knew Sushant remotely. It's just hearsay. I've sat with people who are saying, "Chalo kal dekhte hain, kitna maza aa raha hai." I mean, it's nonsense, it's utter nonsense. So obviously they choose to keep quiet because the minute they're going to open their mouth, they're going to be again abused. And these are just not normal abuses like you're an idiot or whatever. These are dirty, dirty, dirty abuses. And most of these people, majority of them, honest to God, have no idea. So why do you expect them to come and talk right now? Because there's nobody going to be listening. And the fact that you've come for the first time and told us what... Yeah, tell me.
No, you're saying nepotism means nothing. You know, I think people in Mumbai and those in Bollywood would be in deep denial. Here my question, Anu. If they think that there is no nepotism, if you see the manner in which there is a pushback, there is a pushback from the hinterlands of India, there's a pushback from small towns and villages of what is perceived as a closed club in Mumbai, which is not willing to give youngsters like Sushant Singh Rajput who come from small towns a fair and equal opportunity. Now, you may say that this isn't entirely true, but that perception has gone deep and has percolated into the hinterlands. And if Bollywood is in denial about this being a problem that they need to confront and deal with, that would prove very, very costly. You see the kind of pushback there is to the trailer of Sadak 2 now. A lot of this may be orchestrated, but it also has common people, the non-Bhaktami, Trollami jumping in and pushing back. It's a reality which Bollywood needs to acknowledge, look at the mirror and say, okay, how are we going to deal with this, Anuranjan?
Okay, I'll tell you one thing. You're talking about nepotism deep in Bollywood. I agree. Okay, that it's in every industry, whether Mukesh Ambani, his children are young, they've just started off, they become huge partners and shareholders. Why not me? Why in politics, whether it's a Sonia Gandhi or a Sharad Pawar, whoever. So let's not get into that part. Why do you always pass down family businesses? It's called nepotism. And the people who have been abusing and accusing, what do they know? They know nothing better. Go home and see where they are. They're also part of family businesses. अब आप बोल रहे हो कि यार इन्होंने nepotism. I'll give you some example. Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Ayushman Khurrana, what's the name? Huma Qureshi. I can go on for about 40 names. All of them are not from the industry. And if they weren't doing well, they would be on their way out. The same people who are abusing them and accusing them today are the ones who genuinely should take out a piece of paper and start writing the names. Now you start thinking how many Bollywood kids. And Rahul, at the end of the day, it's your money, yeah? Even Sushant was made a star by these same people. He wasn't from Bollywood or from a Bollywood family. So let's not get into the nepotism. It's become a joke and it's a word nobody can explain. What is nepotism? You tell me. And where does it not exist? Everywhere we're working, whether it's my office or your office, the baton is passed from family to children to down the line. So what are you, at the end of the day, it's my money. I can put it where I want.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal, Anuranjan. Across the swaths of India at this time, there is a pushback. People are not comfortable with this cozy arrangement where the baton is passed on from father to son or daughter, and that's the guy who gets a chance to be a film star. More than somebody needs to be phenomenally talented, whether it's a Huma Qureshi or Nawazuddin Siddiqui, anybody else you speak of, their level of talent and ability needs to be a multiple of X vis-a-vis somebody who's born with a silver spoon and gets through because the ruling powers of Bollywood tend to treat him much better. It's a reality, Anuranjan.
No, Rahul. Deepika Padukone, Anushka Sharma, where are they from here? You have 2 who made it and 10 who are from outside. It's a very easy thing to say, nepotism. What hell? What nepotism? Look at the biggest superstars today. You come up with 2 who are very, very popular and you come up with 40 who are not. I mean, what are we talking? It's become a joke, you know, this word nepotism. And half the people go outside, what does nepotism mean? They have no bloody idea. It's happened, okay, let's look at it. It's happened with me, with my children. They're the big producers who promise you things, give you signing amount, they give you checks, they give you photographs. Yes, we are going to take you, you're with us for life. And one fine day they feel that you don't fit the bill. All right, but I choose to be here. How many stars do we have, whether it's TV, films and OTT today? Every name, take out, there are 1,000 artists, there are 10 for nepotism, 990 which have come from outside the industry. And anyway, what's the big deal? If you've got somebody from your own family who can do a good job, tomorrow if they don't deliver, trust me, they're out. It's happened from time immemorial and will continue happening. If I don't support my family and my kids, who's going to do it? My child is talented. I want them supported, and I'm going to make sure they get a chance.
From your perspective, what you're saying is correct, but there is a pushback. No, but from your perspective, what you're saying, Anuranjan, is correct. The people who are not in that club, who are not your daughter, for example, may feel that it's only natural and it's her entitlement to have some preferential treatment meted out to her because she's your daughter. But those on the outside don't like that cozy arrangement. They want a fair chance. They want an equal opportunity to be cast in a film, to be cast in an OTT serial or a TV serial, because they believe that is the core of a new India. That's their belief. They are pushing back, Anuranjan.
Rahul, I'm going to argue with you on this. Tell me, there are about 1,000 TV stars. Who's come from which family? What are you talking? They're all from small towns. Go from Bhopal, from Indore, from Jalandhar, from Amritsar, wherever. These are all the stars today. They're doing brilliantly well in Bombay. What is this nepotism, yeah? It's become a joke. One Kangana says it. She herself is an outsider who got a break. Today she can talk and be on platforms like yours because she has been given the status of a star by somebody who believed in her. And today she's hired her brother and sister in that office. What are you talking? I mean, this is very easy. It sounds very nice, nepotism. It's become a very big fad, you know. Oh, I know the word nepotism. What nepotism? You tell me the meaning of nepotism, whether it goes down to the smallest of towns, I'll agree with you. Everyone, you start naming. Today we'll sit on TV serials. Today we'll sit on the OTT platform, and let's sit on films. Tell me how many from inside and how many have come from outside. There are superstars who have just come to Bombay. And let's take TV, a Kapil Sharma. Whether it is a Kapil or a Manish Paul, whoever the biggest stars, or there are TV actors or Bonnie Roys, etc. Who? Not one of them is from Bombay, and none of their parents belong over here. Forget my daughter. My daughter did not get a chance. Let me tell you one thing. She had struggled. They both have struggled. Not because there are kids, and nobody's going to put money on us because oh my God, it's her daughter. No, they don't care. You are talented, you will get the job. You're not talented, excuse me, I have someone there who deserves it more. So let's not go into forcing this word down our throats and it's gone down to the hinterlands and all. I don't understand why. And where Sushant was concerned, Sushant is genuinely, he didn't belong to this industry, as you know. But this whole topic all of a sudden has taken another track. And where Sushant is, we're talking about money laundering, we're talking about suicide, we're talking about murder, we're talking about drugs. Where is it going? And at the end of the day, why I started by saying thank you for getting her, because I don't care what the pizza boy is saying, or the delivery boy, or the cook, or the servant. They don't know. I tell you, when I sit at home and you sit at home, do you discuss it? My staff in the kitchen says, "Arey, aaj to sab mein sab ye baatein kar rahe the." They don't know nothing. And I have parties at home. My husband, Shashi, goes to sleep at 12, no matter how many people there are in the house. It's not a crime. I am not saying it's right. We all want to know the truth because most issues are under the carpet. Chalo koi aaya, isne ye kiya, wo kiya, so-and-so's rape. Oh my God, she must have done something wrong. No. Everything is brushed under the carpet. Yes, we want to know what it is over here and why it happened. We all want to know the truth. But, yeah.
Thanks, Anuranjan, for joining us with those thoughts. Combative pushback from an insider on whether or not this is a problem that needs to be addressed head on. You're entitled to your views, and we'll leave it over there. I want to go across to Navneet Vasan from the CBI on the CBI's probe. Even at this moment, the Central Bureau of Investigation continuing to probe Riya Chakravarti. If you had an opportunity to see the interview we put out on India Today yesterday, and her initial responses, what do you think the CBI will be most keen, Mr. Vasan, at this moment on trying to establish through the day?
See, CBI has some challenges for them. Number one, they have to decide whether it was a case of suicide or homicide. Now, they have constituted a forensic board of doctors from AIIMS. They have examined all the people who were present in the house when Mr. Rajput was found dead. Now, after examining those and after examining the postmortem report and taking the expert opinion of forensic professors from AIIMS, I think they should be able to come to conclusion whether it was a case of suicide or homicide. Once that is decided, they know which line they have to take. Now, if it is a case of suicide, then whether somebody prompted him to commit suicide, abetment to suicide, which is a very difficult charge to prove, of course. But then they have to find out whether somebody was playing mischief with him, whether it was deliberate, whether it was premeditated. Now, if, as you have told, that there is medical records that he was under treatment for quite some time, and that could have been, now this, his action could have been result of that sickness which he was suffering from, and the allegation that he stopped taking medicines after some time. Now, as far as Riya Chakravarti's interview goes, she has made certain factual statements which are open to verification very easily. Now, she says in the interview, if I heard it right, that she made some investment in 3 companies and this much of money she has contributed, and she has contributed some money on behalf of his brother. Now, these are statements which can be proved from bank accounts. You don't need to work hard. It's a very, very simple exercise. Now, she says that she was not living off Sushant Singh. That also is easy to verify from the bank accounts, whether money was being passed on to her or not. She says she has not taken 15 crore of rupees from his account. It has never come to her. I think it is very simple to verify a bank account whether that much of money has come to her account, or her father's account, or her brother's account. Now, after deciding these things, I think CBI has a road cut out for them to analyze, to collate evidence, and then come to a definite conclusion whether it was case of abetment of suicide. I don't think that they will be able to prove criminal misappropriation, breach of trust. I think those are allegations made in the FIR which are very far-fetched, it appears to me, and it will be extremely difficult to prove those charges.
You know, you mentioned the 15 crore rupees. I want to show our viewers this report we put together on the mystery of the missing 15 crores. Now, the family alleges that there were 17 crore rupees, 15 crores went missing. Now, this is predicated on a statement apparently made by well-known film producer Vashu Bhagnani, who, according to Riya Chakravarti's interview, promised that SSR would be given 15 crore rupees, and the filming was to start in May this year. That money was planned to be given but never given. That's what Riya Chakravarti says. And whether or not this is true, and we tried to reach out to Vashu Bhagnani, he's apparently in Scotland for a film. He wasn't available for a comment, but that 15 crores now becomes crucial, because as the CBI officer says, was 15 crores taken out? You know, this can't be a WhatsApp university charge. Either the bank accounts will reveal that the 15 crores were taken out or not, and then the charge falls flat. In the bank account that we assessed, and I'm saying very clearly because we're totally upfront about our coverage, we don't have all his bank accounts. We have 1 year details of one bank account. In that bank account, there is no 15 crores and it hasn't been taken away. But Vashu Bhagnani's statement, if that were to happen, is crucial, because did he pay this money? Did he not pay the money? If he did pay the money, then of course you need to investigate that. And if he didn't, then it's just a mountain that's being made out of a molehill. Here's the report.
More than a month after Sushant Singh Rajput's father filed an FIR in Patna accusing Riya Chakrabarti of embezzlement, the amount of 15 crore rupees mentioned remains a mystery. So far, no proof has surfaced showing transfer of 15 crore rupees from Sushant's bank accounts to Riya Chakraborty. Riya, in an exclusive interview to India Today, gave her version of where that number came from. She claims Sushant had a verbal offer from producer Vashu Bhagnani and director Rumi Jaffrey for a film. The actor was reportedly promised 15 crore as remuneration.
सुशांत को इस फिल्म के लिए वाशु सर, जो हमारे प्रोड्यूसर थे, वाशु भगनानी, और रूमी सर के साथ एक मीटिंग हुई थी जिसमें वाशु भगनानी सर ने सुशांत को कहा था, उनकी म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग में, I think the amount was 15 crores that was decided.
Riya claims Sushant had shared the news with his family.
सुशांत इस बात से काफी खुश था और ये फरवरी के महीने में हुआ था, जिस वक्त उनके सिस्टर और ब्रदर इन लॉ ओपी सिंह जी बांद्रा में उन्हें मिले थे। उस वक्त सुशांत उन्हें गुड न्यूज देने गया था और उसने उन्हें गुड न्यूज दी थी।
She claims that the transaction never took place as the lockdown delayed the entire filmmaking process.
ऑन पेपर कुछ साइन नहीं हुआ, ये वर्बल अग्रीमेंट था जिससे सब लोग खुश थे, पर अनफॉर्चुनेटली लॉकडाउन हो गया था उसके बाद, एंड हम लोग मई में शुरू करने वाले थे। कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वर्क मार्च अप्रैल में शुरू हो जाता, जो पोस्टपोन हो गया, जिस वजह से कोई भी ट्रांजैक्शन उनके बीच में भी नहीं हुआ।
There are media reports from March 2020 that claim Sushant had signed his next film with Bhagnani. Producer Bhagnani, who's reportedly in Scotland now, is yet to react to Riya's claims. The director Rumi Jaffrey also hasn't responded. Sushant's family is sticking to their charge.
Money laundering can be in several ways. You may withdraw cash from the account and keep accumulating that money. A girl who has had only 40 lakhs as her annual expenditure, if there is 60, 70 or 80 lakhs cash withdrawal from the account in the year, in which there is supposed to be for office expenses when there was no office running, then that money is clearly laundered money.
While Sushant's family insists the actor was swindled of huge amounts of money, proving it in the court will be tough. For that, the investigators will have to establish a money trail. Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, the family's big charge against Riya Chakraborty is that she took away 15 crore rupees. हमारे बेटे का पैसा लेके भाग गई लड़की. But if the money never came, then that whole charge falls flat. And therefore, Vishnu Jain, a simple assessment of his bank account details. If Vashu Bhagnani paid 15 lakh crore rupees, Riya says it was a promise. The filming never started. Then COVID happened, so the process got delayed. If the money never came, then you've created this entire smoke screen and it just goes up in dust. There's nothing to it.
See, the charges of the family against Riya Chakraborty is one aspect of the matter, and the other aspect is on the issue of homicide or suicide. My point is this, that as your forensic expert was also just telling, that there is 25 lakhs of cash withdrawal from the account of Riya Chakraborty, and Mr. Vikas Singh on your channel has also told time and again that there was no office running and there was a cash withdrawal and there were more money in the bank account of Riya than her annual income. So the fact is, we are not trying to prove any specific point or a specific amount. It can be 15 crores, it can be 5 crores, it can be some amount. But the point is that the money was siphoned off from the account of Sushant Singh Rajput in any other way to Riya Chakraborty's account.
No, but what does siphoning off mean? One second, sir. First, it's 17 lakh rupees. The bank account transfer, Vishnu Jain, the bank account transfer is 15 lakh rupees, okay? So that's point number one. Secondly, siphoning off suggests there's a shell company and it's happening outside the realm of legal channels. A transfer from one account, duly noted in that account, paid to someone's girlfriend and the brother, is not siphoning off. That's not how you siphon off something. That's a legitimate bank transfer. Aapko nahi acha laga, it's a different matter. The man has paid his girlfriend a certain amount of money. It's not 15 crores, not 17 crores. The bank account detail that we forensically examined is 17 lakhs and that's it. And he's paid it legitimately. It's not siphoning off.
I'll try to explain myself. The point is this, that today we have only one bank account in public domain. When the Central Bureau of Investigation will, during the course of investigation and during interrogation, will go through all the bank accounts of Sushant Singh Rajput, then the charges of family will be proved to hilt, that whether the money was siphoned off or not. But the point is this, what the charges of the family is this, that Riya Chakrabarti had an active role in the suicide of Sushant Singh Rajput. Whether it's murder or suicide, as your panelists have also told, has to be interrogated and has to be investigated by the CBI. But the point is that I am not on the alteration of charges, whether it's 302 or 306. That has to be seen by the CBI. But the point is, what the allegations of the family are, that there was an active involvement of Riya Chakrabarti in the murder of Sushant Singh Rajput, has to be investigated and has to be interrogated. And therefore, if you will see, there was an angle of drug also being investigated at this time. He was in Goa, and that is being investigated.
And I will build on the drug
point is this, that
yes,
role
absolutely. All of this needs to be probed. As I said from the very beginning, we're not prejudging this case. Journalists are not jury, and audience is not part of the jury either. We have to let the investigating agencies do their job and report both sides of the story. That is crucial. We'll slip into a break. I'll have more for you on the Newstrack when we come back on the other side. Stay with us.